This is one of my good shirts. I love it. Anyway, I made it. Like most of my shirts that you see me wear, or any shirt that I display on YouTube. I made most of them. A couple I didn't, but most of them I did. Uh, you um, yeah, I spoke in my last video a lot about Ron Howard and Opie when he played Opie, and then when he was on Happy Days and stuff, and his career as a director and a producer. And I didn't know he produced and directed Beautiful Mind with Russell Crowe. I didn't know he directed that or produced it, but he did. And I found out that he did, and I found out that he directed it and produced it when I watched it, which was I just ended watching it about 10 minutes ago. And I, I shot the last video maybe 3 hours ago, I want to say. And I don't know why. I mean, I didn't have the correlation between Ron Howard and A Beautiful Mind at all. I didn't know he did it. And something came into my head that said, "Watch Beautiful Mind. Watch A Beautiful Mind." And I never watched it before. I never watched the whole movie. I saw the excerpts like everybody sees when they run a new movie and they show you the videotape, the clip, and that was about all I saw. And I knew the concept of the movie. I didn't know the movie. You have to really watch it. I recommend it to anybody. It's a great movie. Uh, and I just, I don't know. I'm a little taken back by it because I'm labeled with a mental illness myself, and I created the God Code, and that's going to change the world, and all the other God things that I did that are on my posts on YouTube that you can go find. The word God, God or devil, and all that stuff. And it's all patterns and pattern recognition and stuff. And I'm very good with patterns and discovering patterns. And it just comes to me naturally. I don't really work at it. Uh, but when I find it, it's undeniable. And, uh, and there are patterns in everything and everywhere. And people behave in patterns. Your father is the way he is because he follows a pattern. His personality is basically a pattern, and your mother too, and your brother and sister. And we all live by patterns. And if you watch my videos, you'll see that there's a pattern. And there's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to run away from. There's nothing to deny or try to break the pattern or not do the pattern. It's very hard not to do the pattern. I mean, if you're a liar, then that's what you're gonna do. You're a liar, and you're always gonna be a liar. If you're greedy, you're always gonna be greedy, and it's very hard to change those patterns. The leopard can't change his spots, kind of thing. Um, but I see these patterns. I see patterns before anybody else does. That's why I wrote in one of my writings that if me and you went into a room, I would see a different room completely to what you see, and I would come away with a different feeling about the room than you would, and uh, and you wouldn't be wrong, and I wouldn't be wrong. It's just the way we perceive things, the way you look at the world and the way I look at the world are not one and the same. And you know, I didn't plan on this video. I didn't plan on what I was going to say. I think you can tell by just watching it that I'm making it up as I go along. I don't have a script, and I didn't write a script and plan a script. Um, I liked the ironicness that I had made the video about Ron Howard, and then I watched the Ron Howard movie, and and, and I chalked that all up to being the universe. The universe wanted me to watch that video, and he got the Nobel Prize in that video, in the movie. Maybe I'll get the Nobel Prize one day. I don't know. I don't know if that's a correlation at all. And I'm not really shooting. I didn't shoot for the Nobel Prize when I made the God Code. I was just trying to save the world from the binary code problem. And something in the movie they said that genius is coming up with an answer before the question is even asked. Um, that's what I did. I came up with the answer before there was a problem. And you know, and I don't like to tote myself as a genius. I know I'm not an idiot. I mean, I might be a lot of things, but stupid is not one of them. Uh, but then again, I do stupid things. I did crack. I smoked a lot of pot. I smoked a lot of cigarettes. Drinking wasn't much of an issue. I had my drinking days. I drove drunk. I've done a lot of stupid things in my life. And just because you're smart doesn't mean you're immune from doing stupid things. It means you do more stupid things, and that's why you're smart. Because you do a lot of stupid things, and it helps you find the error in your ways and put you on the right path. The best thing I ever did was crack in my life, and drugs, and I was lucky, and I'm very blessed by the universe that I survived it, and I don't do it anymore. So I don't live in regret. My past, I don't regret anything in my past. You know, and your past makes you. So if you regret your past, you regret you. Um, and it's hard when you're in it. Like when you're in the best time of your life, you don't know it's the best time of your life until it's over, and you say, "Oh, that was the best time of my life." But when you were in it, you didn't think that. You know, but I don't know. I think that's what society shoves down our throat. Striving for perfection and never making mistakes and always getting punished if we ever do make a mistake, big or small. Uh, it's real. It's wrong. It's not the way to do things. We should celebrate mistakes. We should celebrate people that make mistakes uh, because those are the brave ones. Those are the smart ones. I mean, if you look through the history of time, all the great inventions, all the great changes, all the great masters of art uh, were by crazy people. You know, Van Gogh when he cut off his ear. Uh, Nostradamus couldn't reveal what his predictions were. If they did, they would have killed him because they would have thought he was crazy. Galileo, I mean, Plato. You can go on with all the greats. They were punished and persecuted for Tesla, and they're all persecuted and punished for what they did. And they changed the world, is what they did. And how dare you say the world is not flat? How dare you say the world goes around the sun and the sun doesn't go around us? It's just all these little things that we think nothing of now were groundbreaking when they happened, and they were dangerous to the people that made them. They put their lives in danger, and the church was in charge, and the church didn't like anything that went against their teachings or threatened their power or threatened their belief system. If the church was ever wrong, then it would weaken the church, and they didn't want to stand for that, and they would punish anybody who tried to do that, and I'm Jesus, so right there I'm against the church, 'cause, um, you know, genius is always prosecuted. And like I said before in my last video when I talked about Ron Howard, you know, geniuses are like wild Mustangs in the wild, living in the wild, and you're more like a gelded quarter horse. And the two worlds just aren't the same. The Mustang does not think on a daily basis in his life anything along the lines of what you, the quarter horse, thinks. At all. If you put the two horses together and the minds would be totally different. It's like a cage bird to a wild bird. And the wild bird does not think like a cage bird. And it's just you can't marry the two. And a lot of those wild birds, when you put them in a cage, they die. They die. And that's what happens when you put, you know, Teslas and people like me in a cage. You kill us. You kill our spirit. You kill us. And you know, and that's what they tried to do with me. They tried to kill me. They tried to kill me on many occasions. I'm a threat. I'm a threat to the people that I talk about on these videos. And don't think for 1 minute they don't know I exist. Yeah, I know that sounds delusional. I know I sound delusional when I say that, but I'm not. And you know, the number one threat to this country and this planet is ideas, crazy ideas. Just like the threat to the idea that the Earth goes around the sun. That was a crazy idea when they first heard it. It changed the whole way the Earth is flat. When they found out the Earth wasn't flat, it changed the way everybody thought of the Earth. And changed everything. And that's ideas. And those kind of ideas are dangerous. Um, and that's what they're afraid of. And that's why people are after me in a sense that they're trying to silence me or make me crazy so you won't listen to me. But yet, there is the God code, there is the other God things, and that's my proof. That's my proof that I'm not so crazy and that I'm onto something and that dismissing me it's is like denying water the ability to flow. And stagnant water is poison. It's no good. Running water is fresh. It's very good to drink. And with stagnant water, you wouldn't want to drink it in a minute. And that's what they tried to do to me. They tried to make me stagnant. And I'm always a river. I'm a flowing river. And as you can tell, the river never stops, ever.